What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and today, as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Welcome to the show.
What's going on? So last week we were actually able to get the interview in there. So if you have not watched it yet, please tune in to Miss Hollins, V Sizzo, as well as several other. She's an entrepreneur. She's a business owner. She's one of the trailblazers when it comes to digital forensics, as well as cybersecurity. So check that one out. It was Wednesday's episode. But this week, it'll probably be Ask Us SP on this Wednesday. And first topic of the day goes to Shannon.
All right. So this one is actually from zdnet.com. It's an article by Daphne LaPrince Ringuet. Yeah, I hope I didn't butcher that, Daphne. It's called The Latest Defense Against Banking Scams, Your Voice. The firm says that hundreds of millions of dollars were saved last year from hackers, and it's all thanks to voice recognition technology, right? So this is the British bank HSBC actually protected almost 249 million euro, which is $346 million of customers' money from fraudsters just in the past year, thanks to a voice recognition technology that does a better job of identifying a user during a telephone call. So I've always thought about this, right? So I have seen this. You see this in movies, right, where people do the voice recognition and whatnot for protecting. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't people do that for their money? Like, everybody cares for their money, right? But it comes down to the benefits versus the risk type thing, right? Like how much does the technology cost to actually do this? But HSBC is actually doing this over in the UK, and the voice system is called Voice ID, and it was introduced in 2016. And what they do is, whenever you call in to verify who you are, they have you say a phrase, right, to make sure that the voice that they have on file is actually you, which is pretty cool, right? As I first started reading this article, I was like, well, what if you have a cold or something like that, right? That's what I always think about, is like, for whatever reason, your voice may not be the same if you get sick. And it actually mentions in the article that they say that it does still pick up on whether or not you have a cold or something going on with your voice, that you are who you are. But even though this was introduced back in 2016, in 2017, it was actually fooled by a set of twins. So there was a set of twins to where the one had an account, and he had his brother actually log in. He was able to log in with the voice recognition and view his transactions and his account and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, and again, this is almost 4 years ago now, right? So the technology has been getting better since then. I'm almost positive, right? There have been updates, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, it could still be spoofed, I guess you could say, if need be, because even in the article they mentioned that even it'll guard against recordings and things of that nature, like all the stuff you see on Mission Impossible and how they spoof those things. Like, it's supposed to not fall prey to that. But no, right. This is one of those things where, with everything that's going on in the world, this is it's one of those things. It's what you are, right? You know, it's always the what you have, what you know, what you are, right, to determine, accessibility when it comes to getting into different things. And this is one of those that's hard to fake. I'm not gonna say it's impossible to fake, because it was proven almost 4 years ago. But this is. I would like to see this more. I would like to see more of this, but I don't know how feasible it is, right? Like, how much is this voice ID system costing HSBC? You know what I mean? Like, they say they're saving all this money, but how much is it costing them to implement, to do all this? Because if you think about it, if they have access to all these things, if any type of biometric, if they have my fingerprint, my face, an iris scan, a voice ID, they should be protecting that information as well, right? And how well are they doing that? Because that's what I worry about, is that, okay, if you let the biometric stuff get out there, then there's no telling to what kind of chaos can happen out there in the real world when this stuff gets out there. But yeah, this was an interesting read. I like where they're going, but I would like to know more on the back end how they're protecting all that sensitive information as well. So what you got on this, LeVon?
Yeah, I think you're right on it. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, that they're using voice nowadays to try to authenticate people onto these banking accounts. I have some concerns like you mentioned as well with the voice being, recorded and potentially like stored in their, whatever archive or database they have of the customer voices, and the fact that, um, potentially, I don't know, I just imagine like in the future, or maybe even now, people that have access to other people's voice, maybe some snippets of their voice, they can like reconstruct it, and it's like, all of a sudden they can, make a robot talk like you, basically. Just have somebody just like mimic your conversation, have a whole conversation just using your voice, and you think it's like you'd have that conversation, and perhaps they can use that for some other nefarious things, perhaps like, I don't know, make it seem like
those real fakes. Remember the real fakes?
yeah, exactly. It's like a real fake, but now it's a voice. Now they have your voice in there, using that to call the president, threatening them, and say, I'm gonna do something if you don't give me a bunch of money, or you calling some random people, that kind of thing. That's the only thing I kind of think about. But obviously, I think the being voice authenticated is pretty cool. I like for them, and I don't know if you mentioned it before, but I don't think I saw it in the article offhand. But if they had like more than just the voice, maybe you have to enter in a code and then your voice is added to, because like you said, if you have like a twin brother or somebody that sounds exactly like you, and then just, they're able to like reproduce your voice pretty accurately, then just log into your bank account and just like, okay, I'll just withdraw $10 million and put it into my account now. Put it into this other offshore account in the Cayman Islands or whatever it is. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I like the voice technology. I mean, like I said, I have my reservations about the potential of misuse, abuse and misuse of the features of the technology. But I mean, I think overall it's like, it's pretty interesting. It seems like, I think I see in an article that the bank has seen a recent increase in a customer signing up for Voice ID. And it's been adopted by 2.8 million users. So it seems like it's pretty popular. It's like it maybe it adds for the convenience too. People don't have to find like, oh, where's my passcode? I don't have to remember it. And then they can use their voice, and the company knows what they sound like. So it's, I think as long as they probably monitor it and make sure, obviously, if they get reports that, hey, somebody got into my account using a voice, what's up with that? They can dig into it. But if they keep track of those kind of records and say, hey, we're getting like this percentage of people that are getting hacked or getting like abused or something like that, their accounts are getting access inadvertently or by the wrong party. As long as they're tracking that and make sure it doesn't, happen, more than it should. If there's like some technical glitch, or if actually like somebody's cousin or brother that sounds just like them that's using it, make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen. I think we're good. But you have some thoughts on that as well, Ryan? What you think?
Yeah, definitely. So full disclosure, I used to work for the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation back when I was a young buck.
We got to cancel this podcast.
Back in Buffalo.
He's one of them.
I was doing like bank deposits, like so.
Oh, nice.
Nothing too cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, I thought they were a pretty good company. That was my last job before I joined the military.
Actually, I would like to visit Hong Kong one day. I think it'd be a cool trip. Check out some of the stuff out there.
Yeah, definitely. It's anywhere in the Pacific, right? Because the furthest they ever sent me was Alaska. That's the farthest Pacific I've been.
Yeah, wow.
It was nowhere near any of those places. But yeah, I found it interesting. So I don't believe, like I could be wrong because they don't really dig deep into the tech in the article. I don't believe they keep that stuff. Like, so maybe your voice they may keep, because I don't think it's stored anywhere on your phone, right? But I think when it comes to like the biometrics, like when it comes to your face and your thumb and all that stuff, it's all authenticated by either your phone or your laptop or whatever the host is that gets you to connect to the bank. I don't think the bank actually keeps any of that stuff, because like you said, you would have to protect that. So they probably keep
ID. The
right.
Voice ID is a separate company, right? So like HSBC is not keeping it, but Voice ID is, right?
Okay, I got you.
Right. If I read it right, yeah, they just use that service that's provided. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so you probably have like some kind of hash or a key or something that is like, yeah, this is good. This is a good voice. So that part I'm not too concerned about. It is kind of creepy, but if it saves them money, saves me money, right? They'll give me a better interest rate, or they won't charge me as much for a loan or what have you, because they don't have to spend billions of dollars for fraudulent charges and things that's insurance and things of that nature. So it sounds like a win-win. Obviously, I say that now, and then a month from now, they'll be like, oh no, it's a great voice data breach of 2021 happened. But no, I think it's a good thing. So I think other banks are adopting this. Like, so I don't have HSBC for my banking, but I did call my bank a few days ago about a charge, and in the verification process, it did have me speak to authenticate who I was. And I was like, when did you ever get my voice? Like, when did that happen? But I mean, all the time when you call them, they do say this may be recorded. So maybe it's somewhere in that contract, they're capturing voices to do just this. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty interested in it now, though. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I think it's a win-win. I think anything that keeps me just that much safer from bad people on the internet. I'm pro biometrics and MFA nowadays, even though I hate resetting my passwords. So I think it's a good thing. I really can't find any cons in it. No conspiracies for me over here on this one. Right. I'm a-okay. Like, that is kind of weird with the twin thing, but I guess if you are a genetic copy of somebody else, like Invincible, like who's the clone? I'll probably be super offensive to twins out there, but I'm not a twin, so
that's right.
And I don't know any, but I could see how that, like, how could you tell the difference unless there was like one of you smokes or something? Like, there has to be some difference in physical traits in order to make that not happen. So, but yeah, I think it's cool.
So something that was kind of touched on in the article as well was like using other biometric features, right? So like you have, like, I know with like iPhone, they do like the Face ID, right?
Yeah.
So you could use the Face ID that's on your phone, right, to log into different apps and whatnot. What's that to say? It could be the same thing with what they do here, right? Or iris scan or fingerprint, whatever it may be. Like you have these devices that already have it, readily accessible for you. It's just a matter of a tie-in to the banking app,
right?
Or whatever. So
yeah, and it would be built into the device, so it'd be protected with whatever encryption the device has. That's good. And then whatever key or whatever is shared to that other system. So I think it's pretty cool. It reminds me of The Incredibles, like when she's trying to get into the vault to get to the suit, and it does the face scan, the iris scan, it does her voice too. So I'd be down for it.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned it, I think my bank account or banking company has some sort of voice thing as well. But I haven't called them in a while, so I haven't like used it recently. But I have coworkers that use the same banking system, and they told me about it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. They're sort of use some sort of voice identification, but I haven't dug into it. But I think it seems like it's becoming more popular if it hasn't already become like a kind of a regular thing amongst a lot of banking companies. But I think it's cool. I think they, as technology improves, that things like this should help, secure and as well as make things easier for people to access,
And maybe they started with voice when it comes to the biometric stuff because it's the easiest one to implement right now, right?
Yeah.
So not everyone has an iPhone that does Face ID, right? So, but everyone does have some type of phone where they can call in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. It's easy to. Yeah, it's an easy choice as far as like biometrics to something that everybody has.
Everybody has a Neuralink.
yeah.
Wait for that Neuralink. As soon as they put that chip in my brain, they authenticate my brain waves. I'm down for it.
That's right.
All right, sign me up.
That's how Vicky will control you. It's like iRobot, man. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll wait a year. I won't beta test. I'll wait a year. Once I see enough people with, I want it. I think that does it for this episode, though. You got something, LeVon?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, isn't that what they call that in Terminator? What was that like? I want to say like
Skynet.
Skynet. That's right, Skynet. That's how Skynet starts, when they start doing the neural links, and all of a sudden you're connected to computers, and computers are talking to you, and they have their own AI, and they decide, making decisions about themselves, and
you saw what it did to Doc Ock in Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he got twisted up. Yeah, it's gonna happen to us.
It is worth it. All right.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Because you got to think, like, at some point, everybody lose the ability and their dexterity and all that good stuff, right? But I could still play video games from the comfort of my own brain.
Right.
So as long as my brain's working, I'm still in it.
Right. You're still in it.
Still in it.
Good point.
Well,
good point.
All right. So that pretty much does it for this episode. So thank you, Shannon. Thank you, LeVon. It's always a good conversation. Very interesting. Thank you to all those who are listening. Continue to check us out, both on video on YouTube as well as audio, where pretty much any podcast platform has us on there now. We're over 1,000 listens. I want to get us up to 1,000 unique listeners as well, right? So let's pump those numbers up. Share with your nerdy friends. Hit us up at the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. That's the same name for the YouTube channel as well as the podcast. You can hit me up personally at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, IG, and Instagram. And you, LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters. You can hit me up at LeVon Maynard if you'd like to reach out.
There it is. So appreciate your time. Stay safe.
Take care.